I can't wait to start my day.
You really leaving the house with that? You knew breakfast is the most important meal of the day, and you chose to leave the house for school with just that granola bar? Come here, let me show you something. Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of The Network. I'm your producer, Allee Bogart, and today we're doing all things breakfast. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day, and you should not leave the house without having breakfast. Whether you're going to school, to work, to pick your kid up, to do whatever you gotta do not leave the house without having breakfast. I don't care if you wake up late and you woke up at 12 p.m., 1 p.m. today. Do not leave your house. Don't leave your crib without having breakfast, okay? I've been guilty in the past with not having breakfast, okay? I've been guilty in the past with just leaving the house with a little bit of fruit, a little stack, but that changed today, okay? For everybody. We're going to make my favorite breakfast, my favorite meal of the day, and this is a roasted Japanese sweet potato breakfast bowl. So what you're going to need for this recipe is your roasted Japanese sweet potato, of course. I pre-roasted this at 400 degrees for 2 hours. You're going to need your protein of choice. I chose turkey bacon. You can do chicken sausage, you can do turkey sausage, you can do whatever kind of meat. And I also have an egg right here that I'm gonna fry and put on top. I've got my seasonings. I've got salt, black pepper, garlic powder, and smoked paprika. Smoked paprika is important. That's going to give the sweet potato a very roasted and bright taste. And then I've also got some olive oil right here. And then for garnish, I'm going to top it with some Parmesan cheese and fresh arugula. So while pre-roasting helps me get through the recipe faster, it also helps reduce bloating, and it also ensures that you're getting a lot more fiber. So pre-roasting your sweet potatoes, it's going to obviously keep them more soft, but then also refrigerating them right after you pre-roast them is going to help create a resistant starch, which is not going to act as a regular starch where you're going to get bloated and you're going to feel really heavy throughout the day and get that itis that a lot of people do not want to get from breakfast. So what I'm doing right now is I'm cutting the sweet potatoes. I like to cut the ends off because I feel that no matter what, the ends are always a little bit harder than the rest of the sweet potato. And then I'm just going to cut them however I like mine a bit on the medium side, so about this big. You don't want to cut them too small because then your sweet potato bowl will be very mushy. Now I'm going to cut my turkey bacon. So an easier way to cut this is I'm just gonna roll it up. I'm gonna cut it just like this. And I'm gonna cut it long ways, just like that. And you can cut it up how small as you want, but I like mine super small because I feel like the smaller gets the crispier. And you would just do the same for any protein as well, whether it's pork bacon or whether it's turkey sausage. You just want to cut it up pretty small. So I've got my pan on medium-high heat, and I'm adding a generous amount of olive oil. Don't do butter because butter will burn. It needs to be olive oil. And first, I'm going to toast my turkey bacon. And toasting the turkey bacon, it's just going to make sure that that smoky, meaty flavor is going to be infused into the olive oil before you throw everything else in. So after about 3 minutes of the bacon cooking down, it's not crispy, but it will get crispier throughout the cooking process because you don't want your bacon to burn too early. So now we're adding in our sweet potatoes. Shake them up a little bit in that olive oil. Get them really coated in that olive oil. Flip it over. And you're gonna crank the heat up just a little bit more so we can start crisping these sweet potatoes up, because remember, they're already pre-roasted, so they're already soft. They're already cooked through. You just gotta get them real crispy. So now we're going to add in our seasoning. So I've got some smoked paprika, some black pepper, and some garlic powder. And I've got about half a teaspoon of each. And I'm just gonna add in some salt to taste. Ooh. That smoked paprika is going to really add a nice, beautiful color. Ooh. Now you really want to leave your sweet potatoes alone for about 5 minutes, because if you touch them too much, it's going to get all mushy. Less movement, more crispiness. So after about 8 minutes of roasting, it should look just like this. Nice and crispy. The bacon is literally sticking to the sweet potato. And so now it is time for the egg. I'm going to put the sweet potatoes into like a little circle, and I'm gonna turn this heat down. And depending on how you like your egg, the Depends on if you're gonna do this or not. But I like a nice, beautiful fried egg. So I'm gonna crack an egg right on top. And it's gonna cook on low. And I'm gonna cover it up. So after 8 minutes of having this covered on low heat, this is what it looks like. Now we're going to plate it. So although the topping of the arugula and the Parmesan cheese is completely optional, I highly encourage that you start garnishing your breakfast. It's going to make you feel like a real chef in the kitchen. Beautiful. So now, let's dig in. The potatoes literally just sit with the egg while the egg cooks. The bottom gets super, super crispy and stable, just like that. That's what you want, crispiness. A chef always has to try their creations, guys. Don't be afraid if you mess up the first time, because you can always practice again. There's enough life for practicing again. That's my breakfast. And it will soon be yours. Today. See you next time. And the next time I see you, you better have made this.